There's a quorum.
I would like to call the June 24th, 2026 regular board meeting of the Fenton Community High School District 100 Board to order. May I have a roll call?
McCullough, White, Miller, Goodrich,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Here.
and Lewis.
Here, we have a quorum. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sam, please read our Fenton mission, beliefs, and Bison Way statements.
Absolutely. The Fenton mission statement: cultivate successful, passionate, empowered learners through rigor, relevance, and relationships. The Fenton belief statement: successful, passionate, empowered learners thrive when we provide a safe, caring, and welcoming environment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion unify our community. School and home collaborate as one. We champion innovative teaching and engaged learning with state-of-the-art facilities. We infuse social emotional learning into academics and culture. We prepare students to fulfill their civic responsibility, and we immerse students in authentic life experiences. The Bison Way: students and adults at Fenton High School create a safe, caring, empathetic environment where we believe in each other, respect diversity, communicate openly, grow together, and hold each other to high expectations to become the leaders and innovators of the future.
Our next item is recognitions. Kate?
All right, we do have one special recognition tonight. All right. Tonight, as we bid farewell to our superintendent, Dr. Sam Benson, we celebrate not just his 8 great years at Fenton, but a lifetime of dedicated leadership and education. There's so much he's taught us, but what I personally learned the most from Sam is his use of patience and leadership and his commitment to making sure people truly feel heard. Whether you're a student, a parent, a staff member, or a colleague, he always took time to listen. And in moments of instability, he has been our steady, calming anchor. But leadership isn't just about the serious moments. He also taught us the power of a well-timed joke, and of course, the absolute joy of legendary Spirit Day costumes. So Sam, thank you for your wisdom, your humor, and your grace. You will be deeply missed, but your impact will live on at Fenton for years to come. Happy retirement, and we wish you and your family all of the best in this next chapter of life.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. And I actually forgot about a couple of these here over the years, but, you know, a lot of memories, a lot of great memories. I want to thank.
Hold on a minute.
Oh.
Before you do this.
Okay.
Don't close us out so soon.
Okay.
With the goodbye speech.
Okay.
Time out.
Okay.
Sam, and I guess the rest of the board, especially those who've been here the past 3 years for the trying times and what led you into your current position, we absolutely appreciate you being willing to fill in and do the job you've taken on. I know it wasn't by choice, more by circumstances, but nonetheless, we greatly appreciate you being willing to step in and fill the gap.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie.
And we're very grateful for that. It's been a great, and as Kate stated, yes, I will miss those spirited costumes and your exuberance during Spirit Week. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Carrie.
Okay.
Okay, now can I talk?
Now you can go.
Okay. Yeah, but, you know, I will tell a quick story. It has to do with these costumes, because I've been in quite a few of them. But earlier this year, I was walking through the Commons, and the student was there, and he stopped me. He said, "Hey, didn't you used to be the principal here?" I said, "Yeah, I did." And what are you doing now? I'm the superintendent. I don't know if he knew what that was, but he was like, I'm like, yeah. I said, do you remember when I was principal? He goes, yeah. He goes, I had a meeting with you. And I'm like, okay, what was that about? He said, well, he had been at he was at an outplacement, a special ed outplacement, and he was transitioning back to Fenton his freshman year. And I think it was at the semester, and he said, you know, you met with me. I go, okay. He goes, you were dressed as Napoleon Dynamite. I said, I do remember that. And so I said, so what did you think of that? He's like, I thought it was pretty neat, actually. So anyway, in a small way, it made me feel good. Here's a kid who was just coming in, and you know, he's meeting with the principal dressed in a costume. And so that's what he remembered, you know. So that made me feel good. And when kids would come up to me, and especially the Santa outfit, and we're kind of thrilled that, hey, Santa was here. And even though you're in high school, kids are kids, and we got a big kick out of it. I got a kick out of it, and so did hopefully a few other people along the way, especially the one that Kate got me, the one with I look like a candy cane. That was this past year, I think. So anyway, a lot of good times. We got a lot to be thankful for. I want to thank the board here. I mean, who we have here tonight, you guys have been on the board for a long time. We've been together for a long time, and you trusted me in this leadership role, and you know, we've worked well together over time, and when we've disagreed, we've done so respectfully, and so I appreciate that. The administrative team here, I can't say enough. They're the reason why, you know, I can accept whatever thanks I get is because of the work that they've done over the years, and appreciate all of you and the work that you've done. But we got a strong team. And then it continues to go down to the teaching staff, the support staff, the students, the community. We really have something special here. And honestly, sometimes change can be good. I know my time is up, but it's okay. I'm at peace with it. And the new leadership coming in we have here tonight, and we're you know, the table has been set for even greater things here at Fenton. So I feel good about that. You should too. And with that being said, I think it's time to move on to the next slide. Thank you.
Karen, do we have any public comments tonight?
No, we do not.
Next item is informational. Sam?
Okay, so here's what we have going tonight. We have a few items. The big presentation of tonight is on student achievement. That request came in last board meeting to sort of get an update from one of our board members. And we have a few other items to go through. So let's kick it off with the student achievement update.
Okay, good evening. I'm very happy to spend some time talking to you about all of the progress and wonderful things that our students have been doing for the past academic year. Kate and I are going to be presenting an overview about some of the updates, and we're going to look at how our students are growing academically, our progress in college and career readiness, and a pretty exciting and significant breakthrough that we saw in our multilingual program this year. So we're going to talk about 5 different items tonight. We're going to talk about map testing. This is the first year that we've done map testing, so I'll give you a little bit of an overview about what that entails. We will talk about preliminary ACT scores. We talked about at the last board meeting that the junior scores got held up a little bit, so they were finalized by ACT on June 17th. So we haven't had a lot of time to dig in, but we're going to give you some of the preliminary information. Kate will talk to you about our access testing and seal of biliteracy, and I will finish up by going over some highlights from TCD. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is map testing, because we just did it for the first year, and it was pretty successful. The teachers felt pretty strongly that this was helpful, and more helpful than some of the other diagnostic tools that we've used in the past. The first thing to understand about map testing is that it's very different from state testing. It is not trying to see if a student has reached a certain benchmark. It's trying to track a student's individual growth. So where did the student start and where did the student finish? So we're looking at kids as individuals, and instead of measuring them against one like measuring stick, if that makes sense. It's an untimed test, so the students, I mean, at a certain point, we do have to say, like, finish it up, but they really do get a lot of time to be able to work through the test. They test in math and in reading, and they take it with their classroom teacher. So it's a much different testing environment than ACT testing as well. They take it 2 to 3 times a year. Our on-track students take it once in the fall and once at the end of the winter, and then for some of our at-risk students, we added a third test. And then the audience for MAP testing is really teachers, students, and parents. They get these results immediately. So as soon as the student finishes the test, they find out how they did. And the teacher can pull the report the next morning. So it will tell you what the students did comparatively to other students. It will tell you, if it's the second test in the year, how much they grew from the first testing point. And it'll tell you what skills they're ready for, which skills they're kind of okay at, and then which skills they're not ready for yet. Much lower stakes than our state testing series. So, in reading this year, our 9th graders really knocked it out of the park. This was a pretty big jump for them. They had double the expected growth for students on track. So let me explain that a little bit. MAP says that if you have a student who is on track, they should grow 2 points from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So our grade 9 cohort went up an average of 4 points, which is great. But they started with their growth at the 70th percentile and jumped to the 81st percentile nationally. Yes?
Now, this is incoming freshmen, is that how I read that?
That is actually the kids who just finished freshman year.
Just finished,
Yeah.
going to sophomore.
Yep.
All right, well, here's my question, and maybe I'm a year late in asking it.
That's okay.
But is there any way to break that out between the kids that came from Wooddale and the ones that came from the middle school?
Yeah, we could. We have not done that, but we absolutely could do that.
I would like to ask for that.
Okay.
Because I've heard that there are disparities, you know, I mean, I don't want to say disparities, but shall I say differences.
Yeah, it's possible to break it out.
I don't know how the kids come out of that, those other schools.
Yeah. Well, they're two very different populations between the schools. So my guess is that you are right, that the test scores may look a little different, but we can get that to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we can do about it potentially, but I think it would be an interesting tidbit to add.
Sure. Our grade 10 students in reading maintained expected growth. One side note with the sophomore class, the freshmen who took it this year have been taking MAP since they were little kids, like first grade, right, second grade, because both feeder districts do use MAP testing. The 10th graders got a gap year. So since we didn't do it last year, they took it all the way through 8th grade, came to Fenton, did not take it as freshmen, and then we asked them to take it as sophomores. So I don't know if that affected the outcome at all, but I do feel like maybe next year grade 10 may have a little bit stronger of a showing just because they won't have had any gaps ever. But they did well. They jumped from the 72nd percentile to the 74th nationally. So that's for reading, but that big highlight is really grade 9 jumping that 11 points. That's pretty significant.
Is it
Yeah.
fair to say that MAP testing is a better medium to track student progress, especially for a high school district, as opposed to that statewide report card? Because to me, the statewide report card was more judged as a K through 12 type system.
It's a very large picture
I
view.
think we're
Yeah.
unfairly criticized when it comes to that.
Yeah.
To that.
So MAP testing is much more, in my opinion, it's a much more individual look at a kid, right? Like you can see exactly what the student did in the fall versus what the student did in the winter, and that's pretty concrete. Instead of, ACT, they take it once a year. It takes a while to get the results back. By the time we get them back, they have a new teacher for those subject areas the next year. So ACT is much more difficult for a teacher to look at an individual result for a student and figure out, like, here are the skills that we need to work on with this kid. MAP is much more clearly outlined for teacher use and for students to understand, too.
Does it go farther than that as far as curriculum or what the focus is, or measuring or what's working and what's not also?
Yeah. MAP is
far as
aligned.
instruction also?
MAP is aligned to Common Core standards, which is what our teachers refer to in their planning. And there's also a linking study for ACT with MAP, so you can predict, within a few points always what their potential is for a junior ACT score in reading or math based on these MAP results. So. For math, in grade 9, they had double, for the kids who were on track, they had double the expected growth. They started at the 79th percentile and went to the 83rd percentile nationally as far as their amount of growth that they have had as a cohort. The one thing I will say, this 2 points for kids who are on track, that's great, and a lot of them have more than that. But for kids who are not on track, they need to grow significantly more than 2 points, right? So 2 points is for a kid who's exactly where they should be at any given point, just so that you understand that point. And then grade 10 maintained. They did a little bit better than maintaining because they had a +3, and they went from the 79th to the 82nd percentile nationally. So the teachers, this was pretty positive. It was easy to do. We were able to get almost all kids tested with makeups, and we felt like it was a pretty good success. I'm looking forward to having another year's worth of data after we continue with it next year.
Me also. I'd rather see this broken out more than those statewide
Sure.
report card, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right, so now moving on to the ACT. Here you can see, I added the arrows just to make it a little bit clearer, but we only have 2 years of ACT data. So next year will be better because we'll have had kids that have been through all 3 years, right? Like, we'll have an entire trajectory of their 3 years of testing for ACT. Right now, we only have 2. And then just as a reminder, I talked about this last fall, but ACT has its benchmarks that they publish, but Illinois has its own college readiness benchmarks, which are different. And that is what this is going to be based on. So as I'm going to talk about benchmarks on the next slide, you'll see the Illinois State College Readiness benchmarks. But if you take a look, grade 9 in 2025, who became grade 10 this year, their average composite score went from a 15.6 to a 16.5. And then our sophomores last school year had a 15.6 composite average score, and on the ACT, they scored a 17.2. And this is representative of every student in the building in grades 9, 10, and 11. Everybody takes it. Okay, so this breaks it down a little bit further. In each of the 4 subject areas, this is what percentage met the benchmarks in each area for each grade. So if you take a look, the pre-ACT 9 scores, that mirrors what we're seeing with the MAP scores comparatively with the freshmen and the sophomores, excuse me. And there is a little bit of a dip with the sophomore class. I mean, it's pretty noticeable, and it rebounds more in English and reading and less in math and science. So we're fully aware. We're going to continue to work on it. It is a test that requires a lot of rigorous language use in all areas. It's a lot of reading, and it's timed it's a pretty tight window that they're completing these tests. So I don't know if there are any questions on that one.
A lot of, be it the ACT or the SAT, is repetition, but also test-taking skills. What is being done outside of
Right. Yeah.
to help with that?
I'm going to talk about that a little bit as we're going to talk about our next steps for increasing the momentum. But you are right, and we do a lot of work. We have been doing a lot of work with tests like exam literacy, with access testing, and with ACT, we've had less of a chance to do that. The test has not been around very long. These kids and the teachers were used to SAT, and they switched last year, so now it's been around really fully for a year where we know what we're dealing with. I'm going to talk in just a minute at the end about how we kind of tried to address it this year, how we're going to improve what we did this year, and that's exactly part of our next steps.
So I can see the challenge from the map testing to this is untimed to time, and it can be.
Kids have to know what they're doing.
Well, and this test
can
is
rattle-
proficiency-based, right? You're being measured against a benchmark on this test, whereas like MAP is not doing that. It's looking at individual student growth, so they're different.
Okay, so I'm going to give you just an update. Like Steph said, the ACT scores are preliminary, and so are our access. So just as a reminder, you have heard this from us for the past couple of years, but we have seen this drastic increase in our number of EL students, and this graph shows it perfectly. We know that COVID affected all students, but particularly our English language learners. And so not only did Fenton experience an increase in newcomers during that period, so students who are brand new to the country, but we also saw an increase of students who are our long-term ELs. So because there was disruption in grade school, they did not pass the test. Their language proficiency, was affected by COVID, and so that affected the numbers of students at Fenton.
Question, I got to restate this to make sure I understand. Multilingual learner services. Are these people who aren't native English speakers, and then we have to,
That's exactly right. So it can look a lot of different.
English.
Yep, it can look a lot of different ways, but English is not their first language. Some of the students were born here, some of them came from a different country, but English is not the language that is taught, that is primarily spoken at home in general. Yep. So just a quick reminder, the access test is required by the state of Illinois, and it's a really challenging test. Students are tested in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. It's a test that's graded out of 6 points, and to pass, what Illinois considers to be proficiency is scoring a 4.8. And it's difficult to do. The other thing that's difficult about this, and we've talked a lot about it, is Illinois does not give the same time to the access test, so schools are on their own to figure out how to deliver this important test. So schools do it very differently. Some give it in the lunchroom. Sometimes, we talked about at Fenton, we were trying to spread it out over weeks and pulling kids out of class to do it. So that was one of the things that we've really been working on, is making this test a priority, making sure our kids are ready for it, that we're supporting them. And it's not just about the test, it's about teaching them and supporting them in language skills. So, we've done things throughout the years that we've talked about as far as getting our staff certified, making sure that we have people who are specialists in these areas, that we've created personalized schedules for our students, because not all of our students are in the sheltered classes anymore, and they shouldn't be. So what does that look like? We talked a lot about our professional development programming that we did with all teachers, EL for all, so that every teacher knows how to support language learners. And then Steph has talked a lot about the past year we've focused on disciplinary literacy, which is an extension of EL for All. But the thing that you'll probably remember the most is that we went out on that limb and we started our Future Ready Fenton Day, where we said we are having the best testing environment possible for our EL students. And we supported our other students that day with career and college visits and the ACT testing for our juniors. But we really wanted to be able to give our EL students that time to focus. And we're one of the only schools that are doing this. So we got our preliminary results for this year. And I think this graph does a really good job of showing how greatly the number of students tested has grown. But last year we were super excited that we broke the double digits, right? We had 13 kids that passed the test. So this year we were thinking, okay, we're hoping to get 5 or 10 more. And when we got our results, 39 students passed the test. Which again, it still seems, but we have a long way to go, but that was a huge jump. And when you look at the state exit average rate, we're surpassing that. And like Steph said about ACT, we're just starting to dig into the data. Not only did we have more kids pass, but we are confident that we're moving more kids from beginning proficiency in English to intermediary. So we're seeing movement across the board. So all of these efforts in supporting our multilingual learners is working, and we're really proud of it, and we're so proud of them because it opens up more access to them for so many different things. So we'll share more once we break the data down.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
I see those. I'm living in Bensonville since 1989. And I see kids on summer school. And to be honest, I see that increase because my wife and I, we were helping. Sometimes translating for the kids, for the moms, and I see the needs, and I just want to say thank you because our community is growing. But I'm a product of that. See, I didn't born in this country. I'm learning the language, and I try to help my community, and I see my community is responding, is answering to you guys, and I see a lot of teachers that they are coming back to be a teachers in Fenton. So it's working that, and I really appreciate what every faculty member are doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They're doing a good job. Every person who works in Fenton deserves my respects. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And so just to build on that, and you saw this at graduation, but one of the great benefits of getting that proficiency score on the access test is the seal of biliteracy becomes a better option for students, or more attainable. So the seal of biliteracy is something that you can learn. You have to have a high proficiency in English, and then you have to take a language test in the other language that you speak. And both of them have a high proficiency level. If you pass both of those tests, you get the seal of biliteracy, which can give you college credit, and also there's a stamp on your diploma so an employer knows. So this year, and Lorenzo Rubio heads this up, this year we had 72 seniors that earned the seal of biliteracy, and many of those students had attained that 4.8 on the access test and then could take a test in Spanish or Bosnian or whatever language. You can also get it from your ACT score or AP score, but a lot of them get it from access. So over 20% of our graduating class had earned the seal of biliteracy. So again, it's us celebrating multilingualism and making that a strength of our students, which we're so proud of. And then Steph will summarize a little bit about college and career.
Okay, so we did want to give you some real world success stories here besides testing. This is a snapshot of how our students do in person when they are actually doing things in class, hands-on work, all of those sorts of things. We had 91% of our students who attended TCD earn a C or higher, and 80% of them earned an A or a B in their coursework at TCD. There were 389 college credits earned at TCD, and that's about 9 credits per participating student. So being able to give them that jump start as they go to college, to have some credits earned that they earn for free, that's a huge bonus for them to have something already started when they get to college. So we're pretty proud of that. And then 71% of them earned an industry credential. There's a few examples of some of the credentials that they earned at TCD.
You guys have done I'm glad to see this program still growing and doing as well. It really helped my daughter. If she hadn't switched majors, she actually would be going into her senior year now. Because of the credit she received through this and AP, it knocked nearly a full semester and a half of college credit off. But she switched majors, so she's back on regular track.
No, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, it took us a semester and a half off. You know, she could have helped Dad out and saved me some money, but she changed her mind.
Sorry about that, Carrie. All right. Yeah. Okay, so then to kind of wrap this all up, we know, there's absolutely room for improvement and growth, but we are seeing some pretty bright spots in a lot of different areas and things that we're proud of our students for. The things that we're going to keep working on, MAP testing is going to continue. I feel like it will only get better. We had to go through a lot of training this year, and now people kind of know what they're doing and where they can get the info and all of that. So I feel like that data is just going to become more useful to teachers as they plan and have individualized instruction for different students. We are going to build upon a Bison Time ACT prep pilot that we did this year, and what that entailed was students who were interested, so they had to sign up. We took them and we moved them into ACT prep Bison Times, and we rotated them over the course of 4 weeks. They spent a week with an English teacher, a week with a social studies teacher who addressed reading with them, a week with a math teacher, and a week with a science teacher, so that they were able to practice all 4 tests for the ACT over the course of a month during Bison Time. We got feedback from the 4 teachers who ran the program and also from the students, and we are going to expand access to that for all juniors this year through a digital program. So it's called Progress Learning. It mimics what the ACT looks like. So speaking to exam literacy, being able to know what's expected of you on this test, what is this test going to look like, how do I use the digital tools that are available to me during testing, all of those sorts of things. Built-in timer on the test, loads of different practice options, full practice tests. It has everything that the kids need to prepare. Back in my day, the school gave us a book that looked like a phone book, and that was our ACT prep, and what you did with it was up to you. I feel like we're going to do a little bit better than that with this. We're going to have the Bison Time 11 teachers help kind of guide the kids toward working on some of this prep work. District 87 has used it over the course of the past year. I've talked to them about it. We're going to give this a shot and see how things go. So that way we are offering the MAP testing for grades 9 and 10. We're offering this to our 11th graders who right now they did not MAP test, so they will have this to work on for next year, hopefully to help. And they can work on it as much as they want. They don't have to work on it during Bison Time. They can work on it in their spare time, on the weekends, whenever. It's available to them and open. So that's going to be a change. We're going to keep working on test-taking strategies with them and different ways that they can improve their test-taking, basically. So we've done that with Access. Our EL coordinator does an amazing job preparing those kids mentally to take that test, and I think we can learn from her to expand that to ACT.
Plan to expand that to ninth and 10th, somewhere down the line?
Maybe, yeah. I would like to see how it goes. I think we'll start with juniors. We'll get feedback from the juniors. We'll see. There's a option where you can see how much it was utilized. So are the kids using it? I mean, all of those factors will play into it. But yeah, I mean, it could. They have programming available for 9th and 10th grade as well. Yeah.
I only asked that because I was exposed to those ACT and SAT type of test-taking skills.
Yeah.
And actually began at 9th grade all the way
Yeah.
through my junior year. And the more you see it, you get used to the exam.
Yeah.
And the test-taking, those skills, it builds. So.
Absolutely.
And the junior year is a great start, but to really have an impact just from what, I know this is probably like 40 years ago, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
the tests may have changed, but the strategy and the structure, those things have it. And it's still about the approach and them get comfortable with being timed and navigating it.
Yeah, and I mean, AP teachers also work on this quite a bit. I mean, I taught AP English 4, and we talked a lot about what the tests look like, how long it was, what the best strategies were, and things like that. So, I mean, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
We are going into year 2 of our work with disciplinary literacy. I know Kate mentioned it again. I've talked about it in previous meetings, but it's kind of the the next step after the EL for All. Our teachers all have a pretty good grasp of EL strategies and the fact that they all have EL students in their room, and that all these strategies that we've talked about are good for everyone. They're not just for EL students. They strengthen everyone's academic ability. So the idea behind the disciplinary literacy is all students need to learn the language of their content areas, and so that's just another way to teach the language is through the content area. The first year, this past year, we worked on learning about disciplinary literacy, mindset work, those sorts of things. This year is planning for implementation. We've been working with Dr. Mike Mandarino from Northern, and when he kind of pitched this framework for the 3-year plan, the instructional coaching team and I were like, oh my gosh, like we've never done something like this at Fenton where we don't try to build the plane while we're flying it. So year 2 is going to be just the planning. It's the planning with the curriculum to embed everything where it needs to be embedded. It's all the concrete work, and then it actually is going to start to happen in all earnestness during year 3. Although if I know Fenton teachers, I think a lot of it is starting already, and I think once we start planning things, people are going to start doing stuff on their own just because that is how teachers are. So focusing on literacy skills directly in our math and sciences is something also that we know that we need to focus on. And then finally, science is going to be piloting a couple different options for curriculum, for new curriculum this year, and we expect that toward the end of next year, we will have an idea about what they would like to move to for curriculum. So those are kind of the next steps, the things that are happening in the upcoming year. Last but not least, I mentioned this when I was presenting about AI at the last meeting, but just for transparency, the slide deck that Kate and I used was generated using Notebook LM. So having this is just a way that we can model to the entire school community that this is how we're going to use AI. We're going to tell everyone about it and tell them how we used it and be as transparent as possible. So are there any other questions about anything that Kate or I have talked about?
I like that we're practicing what we preach. Let's set a good example. Are we going to make sure Nikita gets this? I know she was planning to be off, and this was something she was asking about.
Sure.
I
Yes.
saw it was shared, but I just want to make sure.
I think her point was just, it should be more regular.
Well,
Yes.
and I don't disagree, but let's make sure she gets
yeah.
it.
The general point, yeah. Was,
I know it was shared in the packet, but
Yeah.
I mean, just,
We can.
that'd be
just,
great.
yeah, just to
We'll make sure we follow up.
Yeah, please. Thank you
Yeah,
all
no
very
problem.
much. Very, very good, positive steps.
So not only with this, but then also the other areas, CTE, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Doug?
Good evening, Board, and in total transparency, this slide was not generated by AI.
It doesn't look very
It doesn't
AI
look very
anyway. I don't
AI-ish,
think you
right?
need
This
to
looks
say
very
that, but
business
that's okay.
manager kind of nerdy. So, good evening. I wanted to give, just try to paint a full fiscal year picture for the board of how the business office and the financial ebbs and flows of the school district operates, and sort of the rationale of what we're doing and why we're doing it in the time that we're doing it. So as you're all aware, our fiscal year starts July 1st and ends June 30th. At the beginning of our fiscal year, what new superintendent Dr. Klein, myself, and Dr. Rob Grossi, our financial outside consultant, will be taking a look at our final end of year of fiscal year 26, the July 25 to June 30th, 2026. We'll take a look at how everything ended as a precursor. Knock on wood, everything has gone very well financially for us this year. No major hiccups or anything like that. So our financial projections, we will update those and provide those to you. It's unaudited, so it's not the official financial numbers from last fiscal year, but it will be our information from our financial software, and then we'll update you with how our financial projections are going moving forward. Then in August, we'll provide the board with our tentative budget for next year. Then the following month is September, where we officially adopt the fiscal year budget. That's in line with ISB's calendar. Then in October, we should have our audited financials from the previous fiscal year completed, so then we will submit those to you for approval. And then we get into levy season with November and December. We share the tentative levy, adopt the levy, and then after we have gotten our official audited information, and as well we've adopted our levy, the ask, we will then pump those into another financial projection to show you where we're at and where we're projected to go moving forward. And then that leads into the staffing season in February and March. And then April is when we start finalizing and sharing out with you our plans for summer projects and summer work. And then May, we get into the end of the budget cycle and the beginning of the budget preparation for the following year. And then next June, similarly, I'll provide a calendar update for you. Yes, sir.
This question might be somewhat preliminary, but I'll ask it anyway. So at this point, we've got a pretty good idea of what our spending levels have been for this last year, okay? So for this upcoming year, are we going to be able to, improve upon our spending and perhaps spend less, or, because if I recall, our forecasts, we're looking at some deficits. So just, do we have an idea how we're going to handle those?
Yes, as of right now, when we start doing our budget adoption and share that with you for next fiscal year, we do have some reductions in place. I know that we've talked about this in a few other board meetings.
Yeah.
We're anticipating a reduction in supplies and materials across each of those departments. We've had a slight reduction in our admin cost for next year compared to this year. And there's a few other places with transportation and a couple other ideas with operations that we think we can squeeze a little bit more to get a budget that is a little bit of that less of that decrease, if that makes sense.
Well, I hate to be harsh, but it sounds like you might be cherry picking a little bit on some of the categories. Anything in the overall look that maybe overall will be doing better? Well, I'm happy to hear there's places where you've found some improvements.
Yes, and we can spend more time on this certainly. And
Well, give me if you can give me, kind of maybe we're going to spend less next year overall.
yes, we will be spending less overall. It'll be, again, when you look at salaries and benefits, and salaries are going to go up on average about 5% for all across the board, and benefits are going to go up over 10% across the board. So, but the goal is to try to have our expenditures increase by less than CPI. So CPI is at just under 2.7%, or right at 2.7% for next year. Sure. So if we can get our spending from this year to be just under that 2.7% increase, which is very challenging to do, that's the ultimate goal. And what we want to try to do is make sure that our expenditures are slightly below our revenues. Sure. And if you recall, we've talked about this, the sort of that big stem wing payment, that $2.4 million payment. We're not going to absorb that unless we make some very significant changes. The goal has always been to try to get into that 2.4 where we can have a little bit more revenue than expenditures, and then we're being able to dig into that 2.4 debt certificate payment.
Thank you.
And prolong that payment out. So I'm very positive and confident in the fact that we're going to be there. We started this year.
Yeah, sure.
People did a very nice job of sticking to their various budgets and things like that. We didn't have, again, knock on wood, we didn't have any major bills that popped up that we needed to handle and all that stuff. And then next year we're hoping to continue on with that track.
Very good. Thank you.
No collapsed sewers.
Oh, well, yeah, let's not say anything about that.
Using
So,
the Q word at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Don't talk about these things. The building's listening.
But this is just the state of Illinois financial calendar is a very wonky calendar because we're playing in multiple fiscal years, and our fiscal year doesn't line up to the tax year and all those things. And so there's a reason when we want to try to get our staffing lined up in January and February, there's a reason for that because of partially because of the financial calendar, but additionally there are labor requirements, et cetera, that need to be adhered
Well,
to.
I might be a tad unfair by asking you these questions a little early, but I'm okay with that.
No, I'm okay
it's
with
fine,
you
yeah.
asking the questions.
Yeah,
Keep us on our toes.
okay.
Okay, up next, at this time of year, we always acknowledge staff that have acquired tenure. So this year, we have 6 staff members, and we recognize all of these teachers every year in the fall with a nice breakfast because this is an accomplishment, and this is a really outstanding group. So we have Ashley Giganti, Lisa Colsey, Isabel Kopcheski, Katie Hines, Jory Pesci, and Jessica Espinoza. So these are some really talented teachers and specialists that we are proud of them for attaining tenure, and we're happy to have them back next year.
Okay, next, at the last board meeting, there's a request to have an item on the agenda about a parliamentarian. So I brought that. It's on the agenda here. There was, did a little research on this. Basically, this person would attend meetings and sort of be an expert on Robert's rules and those types of things in case there was any sort of discrepancy or question on next steps with something. So I'm putting it out to the board here tonight.
Well, it's your basic function as a referee, if you just to boil it down. Is that really what we're talking about?
Basically, like if there's a question on some procedure or something, you
Yeah.
could turn to that individual and they would be like the expert. Like a referee or maybe like in golf, like a rules
Yeah.
type person.
Do they
like,
throw the flag?
or, yeah, the sports analogies, yeah, exactly, those
All right,
types of
all right.
situations, right.
Okay. Well, is it discussion time?
Yep.
In theory, I'm okay with it, but I don't know what the implementation would be like. I mean, you got to hire somebody to sit through 2
Yeah,
hours
you
of a
would.
board meeting?
you would-
It's not a hire. I think one of us has to volunteer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ways to do it.
Okay.
The other way would be to have an attorney present. Another possibility is, I think there are people that specialize in this field, like a consultant type thing. So those are the 3 that I have seen.
Well, in all fairness, since Chris requested this and he was unable to attend tonight, I'd like us to just table this till next month. Let us gather a little more research. Let the person who made the suggestion be present to speak his mind, I think, to be fair. If everybody's good with this, can we just table it till next month?
Yeah, according to Robert's rules, we can't table this.
Wait, if you want me to take my book out, Sam, I got it right here.
I do, I got it right here. Yes, in order to table,
I carry it every meeting, buddy. I even got the dummy version in here somewhere.
I don't think we need to take any
There's no
specific
formal
action. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, I mean, the gentleman who brought it up couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Things happen. I'd like to see us table it till next month so he could have input, since this was his topic, to be fair. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think we could come up with a compromise or decide we don't need it if 4 of us say no. I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I kind of go with that.
And it's not an action item tonight.
Right, no, I'm just
so
saying,
we'll
let's just
move it.
move it till next
I
month.
understand with the move it, and I'll let that be, but some items, some discussion item, and this can still go forward. We have to address it when it comes up on there, just to be fair to everyone who does show up and be here. Mm-hmm. And I'm not against the parliamentarian. I just think look, consideration and an open mind go a long way before we get to that. Simply it. I guess that's the best way I can put it without stepping.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, Kerry, but we are down 3 members tonight with the weather, vacations, and other things. And I think in fairness, we should
No, I
table
agree.
this till
I agree
next
with
month.
that. I was just saying.
No,
in
I know,
general.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm agreeing. But also, I'd like to have a frame time, because usually in discussion, we go like an hour with no sense. And believe me, sometimes we are wasting a lot of time. I like the discussion, but we have no good points. I like to set up a time. If we're gonna discuss, it's gonna be like a half an hour, 1 hour, if everybody's agree. Because again, sometimes we go for minor discussions, at least 20 minutes to 1 hour. I like to set up frame time for that.
And ironically, I do have that here to limit the debate. You can set that, and it takes a 2/3 vote. So that's within maybe next, if it ever gets to an action-type situation, how you want to do it. So you can limit the debate if that's what you choose to do as a group.
Isn't that something we
As
could
a board.
discuss at the policy and procedures meeting, and then get something
that
on the
might be a good
agenda,
idea,
and then, make something solidified? I think that would be
Yeah.
the proper way to handle this. I mean, we have subcommittees, let's have some dialogue there, and get an action item and bring it to a vote, and if 4 of us say yes, it's yes. And if 4 of us say no, it's no. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good discussion. I am up for FOIA. How exciting is that? I'm so excited. Oh, no, I got it right here. Upgrade Research. They asked for some information on utility bills and some things that were going on in the building as far as projects and the like. They're just gathering research from other districts, and it was fulfilled. That was fun. Huh? That's my last FOIA. Actually, my first FOIA in a while. Okay, there is no other.
No other. Next item is consent agenda. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I will make a motion.
Second,
Can I get a roll call?
Radzinski,
Yes.
Figueroa,
yes.
Goodrich,
Abstain.
Lewis.
Yes. Motion passed.
If we could just pause real quick, I'd like to introduce our new Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Dr. Michelle Hassan, who's present here this evening. We're thrilled to have her, and she starts July 1st. Would you like to say a few words to the group?
Yes, good
Nope.
evening.
Yep.
No, you gotta,
Yeah, we have a mic up there.
you gotta
Right.
come to the mic, miss. We want to hear you.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Dr. Klein and the team for bringing me on. I'm really excited about being here and being a Bison. So excited, especially since I've seen the Bison in Doug's office. And again, I'm just really excited to be here and join the team and cannot wait to jump in. So again, thank you for having me.
Very good.
It's great to have you.
Thank you very
on the
much.
team.
Thank you.
We actually have a little gift there for you. That's for her, right?
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Little-
And just to say, I've been a high school teacher, a high school assistant principal, a high school principal, executive director of a high schools, assistant superintendent with high school responsibilities. So I love high school. So again, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I thought this was for Sam.
Good job.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good job, Karen.
Sorry, Sam.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You can dress up on the Spirit Weeks too, Michelle. Feel so desired.
Our next item is the intergovernment agreement with District 7 concerning student records as presented. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the IGA with District 7 concerning student records as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Just for, this is basically what we did for District 2, correct?
Yes.
It's just a month later? All right,
Yep,
just,
yeah.
I thought so when I read it. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Right, same concept.
Same concept. Okay.
So Sam, you don't have to explain now.
I don't think so.
Roll call.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Radzinski.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, motion passed. Do we have any committee reports?
I can't report on Bensonville Community Foundation because I missed that meeting and Mike couldn't be here. I know we have another meeting coming up in a month from now, so nothing really to report on that.
And nothing really from NetSec. We did have a meeting, it was just the end of the year meeting with some surveys, and the 3 interims will begin working there in, as far as directors in finance, starting July 1st.
Nothing from finance and facilities.
Nope. Well, no policy.
All right.
Yeah.
The next scheduled Board of Education meeting is Wednesday, July the 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. As it stands right now, no committee meetings.
Correct. Right.
All right, may I have a motion and a second to go into closed session for the following? A, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of Fenton Community High School District 100. B, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C9, student disciplinary cases. 3, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C10, the placement of individual students in special education programs and other matters relating to individual students. 4, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Give it to Reed.
Gonna take a roll call.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Radzinski.
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, we're in closed session. After closed session.
business.
May I have a motion and a second to go back into open session?
Motion,
Second.
Roll call.
Radzinski,
yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, we're back in open session. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn? All in favor say aye.
Hey.
All not?